today our plans on the allotment are just to attend to the bees for the first time, so it's very exciting for both Nigel and I, although perhaps for Nigel a little bit less. Now, just to give you a quick overview of allotment in April. Well, this is as bird's eye as it will get. I'm standing on the bench, and as you can see, the reason I'm so excited about it all, because it's all greening up and look really spring-like. So the first 3 beds, Nigel is preparing the feed for the bees, just to help them to get the brood on the way and so on, and the feeders. The first bed is Gran Violetto, and the flowers actually have a little bit more sort of violet ends to the flower, if you can see that. Then is the slightly narrow leaf one is Karmazin, and then we have Masterpiece Green going great guns here on the left, and on the right hand side equally nice is the crimson flowered. I'm just looking if we have, no, there's no black fly yet, and there is the rest of the crimson flowered in this bed, and there is some Monge too, planted 10 days ago I think, and we've got some late planted onions, some controversial peas planted. The middle of it is elephant garlic, some spring cabbages which are not exactly a success, and they will be coming out. Then as we move forward, we've got the lettuces. This is actually the onion bed which failed, so I've planted some lettuces, and there's some mizunas and mustard and rocket and various lettuces to pick as we wish. We're not massive lettuce eaters, a little bit more in the summer than in the winter. The middle of is the very large square bed that's 6 feet by 6 feet of the flower bed. And the gaps, these are dahlias which yet to emerge, but we've got tulips, we've got self-sown aqualigia, we've got love in a mist, loads and lots of alliums, resprouting and probably self-seeding Verbena bonariensis, verbascums, lots of irises, probably some perennial flowers which I can't really recognize yet by the leaf, and hyssop in that little square box behind. So next to me, I'm going to be harvesting today or tomorrow some of these broccoli, which will be coming out as soon as I need this bed for tomatoes. The tomatoes that we're going to plant this year are Crimson Crush, which are recommended by many, and we had some tomato blight in that bed last year, which was really quite heartbreaking. We do not want this to happen, so we will try the Crimson Crush. The rest of the tomatoes are going to go in a Polytunnel. So this is the soft neck garlic and some overwintered celery further down and celeriac here. We also have a little bit more on the way onions here, and a couple of volunteer elephant garlic from last year. winter cropping raspberries and summer cropping raspberries. And we're coming to the soft fruit bed here, which is mainly gooseberries of 3 colors and 3 colors of the currant. After that, got a couple of pots which needs to be cleared up. That's last year's parsnip and carrots and some grass here, and some blueberries. Some of them might not crop, some of them had the leaves for a very, very long time, almost like evergreen, and I'm not quite sure if they had the flowers during that time or they will reflower. Some rockery plants. Just before I leave here, just wanted to show you in a polytunnel, not because it's particularly messy, is because we have some potatoes here in a bucket. So these are swift and they did get frosted, however they're coming through again. So these are swift. So this was the bucket which started earliest, most suffering, and these are Casablanca. These have been both planted in on 12th of February, and they are quite slow. So leaving this area, what actually Nigel is doing, he's putting the bunting up. It's Easter and we want for the allotment to start looking quite pretty and festive. Well, this is some, this little bed contains quite a lot of hardened garlic and some more onion. I've been trying to plant some things in the little bed behind, but got attacked by red ants. I had to give up. We still yet not have sorted that out, but we will have to, because this is the place when we're going to be putting runner beans and French beans, and there is some peas waiting to be planted around the fencing. So as we come out, and that's a very lovely thornless blackberry which is climbing over. I'm encouraging to go over the door, and that's a tieberry. It's all in flower, and then loganberry, and also that is having some flowers. So, and quite lots of growth actually here on the base of the plant. So we're almost back to the entrance, and I have a little spare raised bed here which Nigel made, and it came out from the polytunnel because we couldn't fit the polytunnel after the storms, so that will have to find home somewhere. But here there's only a little bit of stinging nettles, so that's easy remedied, and that's where the scorzonera and salsify will go. Just have a look at these absolutely beautiful flowering pears. Well, they're flowering for the very, very first time, so that's very, very exciting. They are three-year-old on a quince rootstock trees. Now, as for the potato, we have 2 rows of Sharpies Express, 1 row of the Swift, 2 rows of Charlotte, and 2 rows of Pink Fair Apple. Now we've prepped here because for this year the cabbage cage is going to go here. The little path here between the potatoes is going to be sorted out with wood chippings, and we started on preparing the bed for the Brussels sprouts and so on and so forth. Behind that, where you can see lots of stinging nettles, actually Nigel planted some Jerusalem artichokes, but I can't see anything yet. I've got 4 more to plant, and I have to say I'm very excited because our yacon has germinated. So I bought 3 tips of yakan, and that is actually working. I'm not too worried about this area, which is quite wild, because we want to have a bit of a wildflower sort of thing here. So I might be removing some of the stinging nettles, but adding some native plants so we can see them. Further up there, to the right, by the sort of frost fleecy cover, is a planted beetroot, multi-sown, and they seem to be doing fine. So as we step here, that's the one of the 2 asparagus bed, and let me just show you. This is going to be maybe a little bit better visible. You know, all of this asparagus is sprouting. So you see every head, it's got the 1 or 2 tips out, and we've been trying with the covering that with a chicken wire sort of flat on the bed, but that wasn't going to work. So now we've decided to just put some, we had leftover material from the previous polytunnel and so on, and just got some chicken wire, and hopefully the monk jacks and the rabbits won't destroy that. Now in this last bed, which was for a leek bed last year and for a very long time kind of waiting to be planted, these are spring cabbages, red cabbages, pak choy and radicchio, and some leftover shallots. In this bed, well, that is kind of like a polyculture bed. It's got the last year leeks still there, and resprouting parsnips we haven't harvested, but it's really dedicated to this lovely artichokes, and these artichokes will be flowering this year. This is the 2nd year they've been grown from the seeds. These are some of the spinach I planted, I think last year. I've got more in a greenhouse to plant. Now this one is mainly shallots. So we've got manua, I think it's called, and then shallot, manier, banana shallot, and then golden shallots from Wilco, and loads more of broccoli to be harvested. I harvested quite hard last week. I will have to uncover it and harvest all over again. Now just a quick word about the flower beds. These are, we have 4 square flower beds here, and these are already planted with dahlias. But there's some wallflowers and some tulips sprouting, and I think these are the fancy ones, parrot one, and some quite striking wallflowers. And this is, I think, something too I've planted. I just can't remember what, so we need to wait and see. This is the sweet pea tunnel, and now it is actually planted with sweet peas at the edges. I know that the herbs will be difficult to harvest those. We'll have to do some acrobatics for that, but well, hey, let's have a look, let's experiment. So that, and this, we've done the circle now, so that also is planted with dahlias and tulips and wallflowers, and there will be lots of annual things planted into it as well. So if we walk back by the strawberry beds, which we will reuse that wire to do just that. Nigel got some wood, and he's gonna be putting the purpose sort of built frame for them. So I will have to tidy them up a bit again, and then these are a couple of apple trees which are flowering. We haven't had any fruit yet from any of the fruit trees we've planted, and this one has not survived winter so well, so this is obviously dead, but few of them are sprouting, so I'm gonna let that happen, and then we will prune what is definitely dead. Well, this is not working brilliantly, but we're learning all the time. The rhubarb on the left, I don't know if it's temporarily early or the other one, is doing really well. And this one, we haven't forced anything this year, we will be forcing it next year. This one is looking better as well. And despite covering this bed ready for sweet corn and courgettes, you know, you can always, I don't know if I can show you that, but there's always something green poking out. So if we didn't mulch that really well, it would have been very, very difficult. Today is a special day because we're going to be checking on the bees, and we're going to be opening the beehives for the very first time. I might do a little video on that. Let's see, we will see how we doing it. Well, Nigel is just passing because is putting the bunting up, which looks really nice for Easter, but the bees this is actually their flight path when he was, so they flying in and out. They're very, very busy at the moment. We've cleared up some of the greenhouse, but I won't give you a tour of the greenhouse just yet. We leave that for another day. And just as we walk through the food forest, which I can say the raspberries have been successful. They all sprouting more or less, most of them actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10 already sprouting. And this is the space we prepared to we will be just enlarging that and enlarging for the black currant I'm rooting. So let's just go back. I have to show you that because it looks really lovely. So the pond at the moment is looking great. We will need to sort it out because it does dry up in summer with the heat.
Well, here we are on Easter Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, saying our goodbyes because we did the bees yesterday and they weren't very happy. So we decided we will come back this morning
And check
pop
on them.
tomatoes and check the bees and live happily ever after.
In fact, they chased us all the way through the field yesterday, and Nigel got 3 stings yesterday. Nothing for me.
So on that high note, we'll say
Sorry.
goodbye for
I'm
now.
not sympathetic.
Have a good Easter weekend.
Have a wonderful Easter. And I we will hopefully see you next week. Happy Easter.
Bye.
Bye.